Okay, back again, another live stream broadcast or podcast or whatever it is. So, I basically got an unintentional free time in this day, even though tomorrow and day after tomorrow would probably have a weekly scheduled intentional free time. Besides, I'm actually need to prepare more native language podcasts because I think it is already end yesterday, and to be honest, I just didn't notice because lately I've been trying to concentrate on many channel that I try to create, but yeah, most of them are still pretty much the same. So yeah, that's pretty sad. And to be honest, I'm still trying to be grateful because at some point I just come back from an offline meeting that I need to attend for more than 2 years of working. So this is actually the first time that I basically tried to reach out the third party. And yeah, it turns out the meeting was faster than I thought, but thankfully I can go home faster because yeah, I already tried to be wait outside the buildings. And yeah, basically last week I didn't do any hangout with my college friend as well because yeah, I basically wanted to do it in two weekly, bi-weekly, even though the previous 2 weeks I basically tried to do it anyway because there is an additional people that I never really had for more than, I don't know, 2 years as well, perhaps, I'm not sure, or 1 years. But anyway, so I basically had so many things that I basically wanted, not really so many things, maybe just three, this last 3 days that I basically want to record on my notes, but yeah, it's basically just trying to tell about something that I just experienced, including the dreams that I had, which supposed to be something that basically I should interested, but I don't know, maybe because it's just pretty unknown and I just don't know the exact thing that I basically tried to do. So so yeah, what else did I basically want to talk about? So I basically already do a good behavior recording as usual, even though yeah, I basically try to upload only on the best day, only in the week, which is the day before the weekend, obviously. And I usually try to do it on the first day of the weekday, even though it's not try to do because yeah, at some point I'm just feel that it is not the best day. Not I basically not trying to make that as a best day yet. So hopefully in the future. Even though yeah, I basically try to do the recording that I basically already tried to do previously, so most likely I basically don't have so many things or remaining that I basically need to record, or it is basically pretty rare because it was recording that I basically tried to do before I was tried to do a trip overseas, which basically definitely will not do the good behavior recording because I basically only tried to do the good behavior without any recording. So even though it should not be very much as well because at the moment that I basically try to come back, I basically try to do it again, perhaps, or maybe there is actually several episodes that I am still not know, which is what kind of things that I basically try to record on those files. So I basically will need to listen very carefully, perhaps, because yeah, I definitely not memorize all of the things that I basically want to record yet. So yeah, I don't know, because basically memorizing a very short amount of things it's already pretty hard. So I usually only had an additional every month, additional things that I basically want to memorize, maybe on once in a month, which is far from the whole things that I basically wanted to memorize. So basically, it's take more than a lifetime if I basically try to maintain the same speed, obviously. So yeah, what else did I basically want to talk about? I basically still playing the same big game, obviously, even though yeah, I basically don't know what kind of things that I basically make can make me more satisfied rather than trying to do a productivity things like this, which hopefully I can do it more often later at the end of this year if I basically had more productivity space. I don't know. Anyway, I just don't know what else that I basically want to talk about, but everything was just seems to be the same, and I just don't know how can I basically be the people who basically I don't know can have a chance to make many people as happy, because at some point if you talk about the people who basically got the change, it seems to be they only try to think about the people who basically close to them only, obviously. That's what many people try to do when they're basically success. They tend to not care about unknown people or stranger, even though those kind of people is actually the one that probably more needed, and it's basically can make you more satisfied if you basically able to help them. So yeah, that's the reason why. And to be honest, finding this kind of people is definitely hard, because at some point if you basically try to suddenly meet with stranger, most of them will basically try to do bad things to you. So it's pretty rare, because probably the people who basically try to do good things will probably just remain patient for the rest of their life and try to accept what the destiny was trying to do to them, even though they already tried so many things perhaps in order to make their life better. I don't know. We just can positive thinking about that, and I don't know what else that I basically want to talk about. It's still far from 10 minutes, and I'm not sure whether I basically will try to do another productivity things after this or not, because the previous good behavior recording is almost 20 minutes, and this with the combination of this I basically already waste for almost half an hour. Yeah, I basically feel a little bit hungry as well, and I basically still have something to do with my main job of tasks, which is a little bit bigger than usual, obviously, because yeah, but yeah, it's basically not always the things that I basically need to solve, because yeah, if you talk about things that basically able to be helped by other people's, you definitely need to ask them as well for their support. So yeah, because yeah, that's the purpose of teamwork, obviously, in a company, because even if you try to do it all of that on your own, it's still not really give you the best satisfaction or the best expectation, because at some point people will try to consider it as a teamwork as well eventually. So that's the reason why any kind of mistake and any kind of extra awards are basically need to be done together at the same time. So yeah, it's already 10 minutes, and I think I will try to end this stream. I basically still have a lot of episode for the next season, even though for the next two season, since the next season is actually already prepared, but there's no single episode that have been processed. And yeah, because every day I only try to be consistent uploading the karaoke for the YouTube and the short video, but yeah, it's still not enough as well, because yeah, it's still one of the many of the earliest recording that I try to do with the mobile application. So that's the reason why probably if most of them are basically do in collaboration, so I basically not try to do it on solo, which is I basically more prefer right now. Every time that I basically try to do it, I always try to do it on solo, because yeah, it can make you more satisfied obviously, unless you are trying to do it with the people that you know. Because if the people, because yeah, or the people that you love perhaps as well. So yeah, that's the reason why, because most of them are basically pretty regular people, even though they basically didn't have a bad voice. Some of them are actually have a good better voice than me, but yeah, it still feels quite weird to sing with a stranger that you are not really interested, perhaps, I'm not sure. So yeah, what else? I think that's all that I can say. I think I don't have anything to do, because I basically feel pretty hungry, so I think yeah, that's all.